You might have seen recently that we did a video with Simon Richardson explaining how to do a fairly basic bike fit, but we know that a lot of you are just getting into cycling, either buying your first bike or upgrading to something slightly better. So how do you know what size frame to buy in the first place? We're back down at BW Cycling to enlist the expertise of Ollie Beckinsale, triple Olympian and mountain bike professional. Ollie, thanks for joining us. We've had a few viewers asking, I'm 6'2", or I'm 5'2", what size frame should I get? But is it as simple as that? How do you go about choosing your first frame size?
Yes, obviously buying that first kind of serious road bike can be a daunting prospect, and I think it scares a lot of people. And it's not as simple as a certain size equals a certain height equals a certain frame size. I wish it was that simple. The world would be an easier place and it'd be easier to buy and sell bikes, but unfortunately there's a lot of variables involved, but we can talk about a few of those and try and make it easier for people to buy that bike.
So presumably, because some people that are the same height, they've got different length of legs or different length of torso, so what's the most important aspect of the bike when you're trying to choose the frame size?
Yeah, so obviously the three main measurements that affect the frame size of a bike, you've got the seat tube, the top tube and the head tube, okay, and they kind of combine together to produce that frame size, okay, so you've got your seat height and then your reach. So when you sit on that bike, and it's that reach that actually is the most important measurement in my book, so actually the top tube.
So effectively you've only got a few centimetres really that you can make a difference in terms of how far you are because of the stem size, but as you said, the saddle can go up and down a fair bit. So, but presumably you don't want the saddle right down at the bottom or too far up then?
You want to get in the ballpark with the frame, but like you say, you've got a lot of adjustment in the seat post. Okay, but like you say, you can move that up 2 or 3 inches either way, and especially with compact frames these days. So with a sloping top tube, there's even more adjustment available. But like I say, what you can't change a lot is the stem length. Okay, so you can adjust the stem, for example, on this medium large, I've got an 11 centimetre stem. You could go up to maybe a 12, 13 at a push before the handling really starts to slow down.
So in terms of, how do you know that it's the right size top tube for you and the right reach for you? Is it just a case of sitting on the bike and getting the saddle in roughly the right position and going on feel?
The best way is to go and sit on the bikes. Try different bikes, look at different options and get a feeling first of all in one shop or a variety of shops for what a road bike feels like. If you only go and sit on one bike for the first period of time, how do you really know if that's right or wrong? Sit on a variety. Maybe it's different shops or different brands within a shop. So you actually get a bit of a feeling, a bit of knowledge for what you're looking for.
So presumably there's 2 ways of defining the reach on the bike, because of course there's a how far forward you are, but there's also how low or how high you are up on the bike. So how do you decide what's the best position for you in terms of the height of the stem?
Yeah, so your spot on the 2 work together to produce that reach. What we're trying to do is combine both so that when you're leaning forward and you're on the brake levers, gear shifters, that's actually kind of default position. You're trying to combine the, like say, the reach and the drop of the handlebar so that that's within your comfort zone. And that's a real important determinant of your frame size. Okay, so and that's actually been reflected in a lot of bike design, especially over the last 5 years. So most manufacturers now offer a sportif model or sportif range, and then they offer a race bike range. A good way of determining which kind of model you are, a real simple toe touching test. It all sounds very basic, but it can get you in the ballpark. If you're unable to touch your toes, you're probably more suited towards a sporty frame. It's like, say, slightly higher and closer towards you with the handlebar, and that's likely to be more comfortable and better suited. So
presumably most professionals are a little bit more flexible, and that's what allows them to get low at the front end and be more aerodynamic, but many amateurs are less flexible and so need to have just a slightly higher front end just for the comfort, is it mainly?
Yeah, so it's that flexibility of the hamstrings, glutes and back. So the guys that have been riding, and also it's how long you've been doing it for. So over a long period of time, the body adapts.
And presumably also having a higher front end doesn't make so much difference in terms of aerodynamics really when you're doing 25 to 30 k's an hour versus what these guys in the Tour de France are doing.
The thing is, you can always make yourself lower. You can literally you can be in your default position in comfort and you just tuck your arms in. You can always make yourself lower. You can't make yourself longer.
So once you've set your bike up and you've found one that feels perfect in terms of your reach, is there anything to look for at all on the seat tube? I mean, is there a point where a bike's still too big for you even though you've got the right reach, or too small in terms of the seat tube?
Yeah, I mean, so for a seat tube minimum, you need to be able to stand over the bike comfortably. So if the bike's got a horizontal top tube, it'll be higher up but you need to make sure that you can stand comfortably over the bike, partly for safety and partly for comfort as well. And then once you've set that seat, it then becomes a bike fit issue rather than a frame issue then. Find the ball of the foot for the big toe and put a little dot on that one, draw a little bit on your shoe, and then move on to the bike. And what we're looking to do is to get the balls of the feet, okay, they come up